This is why fighting colonialism and neo-colonialism becomes very difficult. The neo-colonizer has also recruited people within your ranks. They have trained your army. They have indoctrinated your army. So you fight and move 2 steps forward, but you are moved several steps backwards. And that is why the fight is not easy. The neo-colonialist keeps on changing shape, keeps on recruiting people from within our ranks, and there is no shortage of people who want to be recruited for 30 pieces of silver. And that is why the fight is long, painful, and not easy to win. You know, when we talk about neo-colonialism, I always remember these words of the Zambian called Simon Kapwepwe. Kapwepwe said, this colonizer who has become a neo-colonizer will one day come as a foreign investor. And that is exactly what happened. So that apart from the French one, which is more vicious and more open, they don't even pretend, there are also other streams of neocolonialism, but the French one is the worst. Because the French never left. And where they were kicked out, as in Guinea they destroyed things, as in Algeria they destroyed things, as in Mali they destroyed things. But theirs is the more obvious and more vicious because they control all levers. They control not only your politics, they control your economics, they control your resources, they control your education. So their brand of neocolonialism is the most vicious. The other countries, such as the former colonies of Britain, what they did is that they leave you to run your politics. But even that they influence in some ways. But how do they now remain in your system? They remain in your system by controlling your economy in different areas. If you look at former British colonies, you'll discover they still control your agriculture. They control your pharmaceutical industry. Until very recently, they controlled your banking system. They control your intelligence. They still have their military bases. They train your army. So they appear to have gone, but they are not too far away. And of course, with the new entrance into the arena, such as the United States of America, they control you through different ways, like their cultural centers and NGOs. The NGOs are not innocent in this regard. These are Trojan horses. They continue to control your so-called civil society, so that you have a cadre of Africans who get money from non-governmental organizations, intelligent individuals, but their only claim to fame is that they write proposals and they write reports and they send them to whoever financed them. He or she who pays the piper calls the tune. And the funding is based on what is important to those countries. When it was human rights, they tell you, you deal with human rights, then we'll fund you. When it is multi-party democracies, they tell you, talk about multi-party democracy and we'll fund you. When it is climate change, they tell you, talk about climate change and we'll fund you. When it is LGBTQI, they tell you, talk about LGBTQI and we'll fund you. So that you see that there is always something. The neocolonialist is always hatching plots and getting our men and women, particularly those who are intellectually endowed, to engage in these activities because they know that if they control the scream of the society, then everybody will fall in place. Sometimes I imagine to myself the neo-colonialists in the inner sanctum sitting down and say, we must not allow this to happen. Let us come and hatch another plot. And they're always hatching another plot. And we are always falling into the same environment through these plots. And we are always losing the battle. Even when we think we are winning, we are losing because they know what they are doing. And they are several years ahead of us in terms of planning. This is the problem. They are involved in research at all levels. And we are kept squeezed. As they said, as I always remember these words, iconic words of George Floyd when he was being killed and they stepped on his neck and says, "I can't breathe." The African can't breathe because the knees of the neo-colonialists are on his neck, on her neck. Can't breathe, is gasping for air. That is the state in which we are.